Hello, guys. Welcome to the Ask Faith Show. Thanks for stopping by. I'm so glad and excited to be here with you guys. I could not wait to come and post this video, first record it. And, so much has been happening, but it's imperative that I drop this here for you guys. This week, I have a Smoke and Mirrors tea drop for you, and it's quite exclusive. I wanted to release this video a few days ago. But, sleep and life, we're calling as work. Just going to keep it real with you guys. But I am here to drop this for you. And I want to know how you guys feel in the comments, okay? So I almost don't know where to begin because this rabbit hole runs deep. And when I say deep, it's deep. And every day it's developing. So I'll try to I'm going to do my best to make it cohesive for those of us who haven't been following and not, possibly don't even know what I'm going to be discussing today. So let me just give you some of the basics. So in the United States, the president appoints what we know as the Attorney General, who is the head of the Department of Justice and chief legal counsel to the president. The Attorney General's primary role is to prosecute cases that involve the government and give advice to the president. And he's the head of the executive departments when needed. So he's a very large role. He essentially is telling the president and those around. He determines essentially what is legal from what is not legal. Outside of our Supreme Court, who will try, we have checks and balances within our system, but he's the Attorney General. He's the top attorney in the land, okay? So now that we know what the Attorney General does, it's important to note who is our Attorney General. So our current Attorney General we have serving today is none other than William Barr, who has lately been sitting in a lot of hot water due to his actions, or really his inaction, in the obstruction of justice regarding the President of the United States, which can be a video all of its own, and it soon may be, but I digress. Let's just stick to the facts at hand. So, Mr. William Barr, he currently... Well, let me just play the video.
I'm recused from that matter because one of the law firms that represented Epstein, I'm recused from that matter because one of the law firms that represented Epstein long ago was a firm that I subsequently joined for a period of time.
As we just saw, William Barr initially stated that he was recused from the quote-unquote matter of the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case, the biggest case, might I add, currently in the Justice Department, due to the fact that he subsequently joined a law firm that Epstein represented, or that used to represent Epstein. Did you guys catch how he basically choked on the word law firm? For me, it just was a big tell. You know what I mean? It was like, I read that as a macro expression of deception. It wasn't even a micro. He basically choked on his own words. He's looking away, like he's trying to formulate some type, or he can't even believe his own lies, really, choking on his own words. But that is my opinion, and feel free to drop yours in the comment box below. But apparently in the eyes of lawmakers, that is a very low standard to remove yourself as our Attorney General from a case. You understand? So, honey, I'm about to spill the tea. Thanks to my good friend Lawrence over at MSNBC. Apparently the roots to this palm tree run deep. But the third degree of separation there just turned into 1 degree, because it was revealed to me that, in fact, William Barr, Attorney General William Barr, his father, Donald Barr, hired Jeffrey Epstein as a math teacher at the Dalton High School in the 70s. Oh, yeah. 1973, guys. 1973. So these circles of the upper echelon, people in power and important places and playing certain roles, they didn't just come about. They have deep roots. They've been knowing each other, and you didn't just only work for a firm that once represented Epstein. Your father has provided him employment. I'm pretty sure you guys run in some circles. I don't want to call anyone friends that I haven't seen, but with my due research, I'm pretty sure that these have been acquaintances of one another, or maybe even more. So, but get this. Not only did his father, Donald Barr, hire Mr. Jeffrey Epstein, but Jeffrey Epstein was not even a college graduate. How are you teaching in private schools and you're not even a college graduate? This is happening up in the Upper East Side, where people are paying upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars for, the equivalent of college tuitions for, a good high school, middle school education. And the headmaster isn't employing qualified individuals to perform this work. Things that make you go, And as reported by the New York Times on February 20th of 1974, Donald Barr, he ended up quitting because the Board of Trustees and him had been going back and forth for quite some time. They were in court. They did not believe in his judgment. They did not agree in his judgment. They felt as if there were a lack of checks and balances. He didn't want a powerful, strong parent-teacher association, amongst other different things. And, if you're out here hiring people that aren't even college degreed, qualified to teach, because I'm not going to just say I'm not going to act as if you need a college degree to teach children, but that typically is the qualification at prestigious institutions. And if the headmaster doesn't require that of an educator, I wonder what else he is, letting slip under or letting go by, turning a blind eye to. So the Board of Trustees very well had reason to not trust in his judgment. And it's just funny that after he quit, Jeffrey Epstein no longer was working there as well. So that's a lot, but it doesn't stop there. Today, Jeffrey Epstein, he's being charged with sex trafficking of high school girls, or girls that should have been in high school at that time. Drop the phone. Current Secretary of Labor is the same Florida prosecutor that allowed Epstein to basically have a cakewalk when sex trafficking charges were brought against him in 2007 and 8. Okay? So this is ongoing. This is actually not news. This is actually this is like when your past comes back to haunt you. You know what I'm saying? You thought you was getting away with it. You turned into a Wall Street tycoon, multimillionaire, well respected. According to Donald Trump, you're a terrific guy. He describes Epstein as a terrific guy. He hasn't denounced Epstein yet. But I digress. So Donald Trump's the Secretary of Labor, because he has to appoint the Secretary of Labor. So this was somebody who he chose to be in his cabinet. He's the same Florida prosecutor that allowed Epstein to walk prior. And his name is David Acosta. But I'm so glad I waited to do my video, because I came home today after work and David Acosta is resigning. You can't make this up, guys. I'm not that clever. I can't just sit here and make this up. So it's like a whole bunch of fallout. So he's resigning because he's like, listen, I don't want this shit to come back on me. Okay, so I'm out. I'll let Florida deal with that. And due to all this spillage, how many people, can we get a count of how many people have joined and left the Trump cabinet since he entered office? Sheesh, I'm just waiting for him to leave. Oh, excuse me. I'll reserve my comments to myself. But in case for you guys aren't, you don't have any clue about the Epstein case, what happened in Florida and why it's such a big deal, why David Acosta resigned. Well, let me just let you know, in June 2008, your boy Epstein, he pled guilty to a single charge of soliciting prostitution from girls as young as 14. So, there were more people involved, it should have been more charges, but he pled to a single state charge of soliciting prostitution from girls, plural, girls as young as 14. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison. The gag is that instead of him being sent to state prison, as the majority of sex offenders are, Epstein was housed in a private wing of the county jail in Palm Beach. Must be nice. He was able to hire his own security detail and was allowed to work release to his downtown office for up to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. He served 13 months before being released for a year on probation. During his probation, he was allowed numerous trips on his corporate jet to his residences in Manhattan in the U.S. Virgin Islands. At release, he was registered in New York State as a level 3 high-risk repeat offender, and which would be a lifelong designation. Epstein has been a registered sex offender since 2008. So he is guilty of being a sex offender, but he's a terrific guy in the eyes of your president, and he was allowed trips and basically life as normal for a prostitution charge for young girls. 14? I have cousins that are 14. The thought alone, that breaks my heart. I can't even, let's move along. Let's just say, and thanks for this information from Miami Herald, the immunity agreement and his lenient treatment, it was the subject of a lot of controversy down there in Florida between the police chief and the state, feeling as if the state had given him preferential treatment, which would have been the U.S. attorney at the time, David Acosta, the deal of a lifetime. He was the attorney in Florida at the time. So it's just a lot of pats on the wrist, behind closed doors, pats on the back, a lot of questionable decision-making, questionable choices of company, 14-year-old girls. And we have on wax our own president saying he loves young girls. He loves being in their company. He knows that Epstein likes young girls as well. You come to your own conclusions. As I mentioned, these people Epstein is being described as a terrific guy by the president. And the president also describes David Acosta as a tremendous talent, a Hispanic man. I found that to be hilarious. As David Acosta is announcing his resignation, the president saying, it saddens me. He's a tremendous talent, a Hispanic man. I wish you would describe how great I was by describing my race as well. Let me bring it up if I will, but that's that racism peeking through, but whatever. Because you don't have to mention his background when you're just talking about his talent. To me, it just seemed out of place. But this is the Ask Faith show. Ask me what you want, because I'm thinking, I think I'm hearing a little undertones in that, but tell me what you feel. So, birds of a feather flock together. If you show me your 5 closest friends, I'll show you who you are. So let's fast forward to July 9th when William Barr, Attorney General William Barr, he put himself back on the case. So I'm guessing he got a lot of backlash on why he removed himself from the case to begin with, due to all this tea spillage, and dots being connected by some great people out there in the field. And I think that the heat was just too much. So William Barr said, I'm going to come back. I'm going to take the case. But I won't review any retroactive decisions made in the Florida case. Well, damn, how are you going to do that when that's a part of this case? Oh, you mean you won't go against the grain? Okay, because it's like these people are going to lie and stick to it or be wrong and strong. I mean, he got publicly blasted. And when I mean blasted, he got blasted for not staying on this case. And now you come back on a conditional stance that you will review what's new. But these charges are from women that were being trafficked years ago. So, I mean, honestly, it looks like we have a long road ahead of us, but the road is closing in, and justice, in my opinion and in my heart, will always prevail. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking. Drop a comment, like, share, subscribe. Talk to you soon. It's The Faith Show.